What is going on, everybody? Welcome in. It's a long scroll. What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Celtics Talk Weekly All-Star Weekend Special. Guys, something new we're doing. I don't know if we did this last year. Did we do this last year?
Not the special. Wait, Franco, are you muted? We gotta
I
take
am.
care of
We did
early
something
day
of the
live
sort.
stream here. You gotta get all the kinks figured out.
Vibes thrown
We
off. This is weird.
Yeah, the
we did one
sun's
at the
still
end of
out
the
and we're
post game
streaming.
last
This
year,
is yeah.
Yeah,
we-
yeah.
but not the special. The special
Not the
is it's what it is. It's special.
It's
It's
That's
special.
what it is.
Yeah, there we go. So if you're new here, I'm your host, Rob Haytayan, joined with my two co-hosts, Seamus Zarlingo and Nick Franco. Guys, it's All-Star Weekend, and I feel like right now in the NBA, All-Star Weekend is like the most controversial, like hated or loved thing that the NBA does. I can't get a read on what the players think of it. But like before we dive into predictions and stuff, what are your guys' kind of overall opinions on All-Star Weekend? Like, is this something that the NBA needs to completely rework? Franco, I see you yawning. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but like, where are you at?
Or no, it is a yawn. It's something that has been adjusted way too many times, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When it comes to the
Right.
All-Star game, I'm a very big classic guy. I like the in Seamus's background, the Kobe 24 Western Conference All-Star jersey. That's the type of All-Star games that I miss. The East versus West, you're seeing the best players from each team come out. You're seeing star-studded athletes play in the dunk contest. You're seeing the best shooters in the NBA competing to earn that title of best shooter in the NBA in the three-point competition. And the skills challenge is one-on-one. That's what I miss. I'm kind of just going back on a nostalgic rant here, but like I miss the just seeing like a perfect example we were talking about before the show is a great Celtics moment that we saw was when Jason Tatum hit that half court shot over Trey Young during that
Right.
skills challenge a few years ago. And I thought that was a perfect format for it. One on one, who can complete the most passes, who can make the shots, and who can make the layups in time, and not all this fancy stuff, not emphasizing the Warriors for who are currently ranked within the bottom echelon of the Western Conference, and then you got Team Cavs, and you got Team Rookies, and then you got Team Spurs. It seems just very thrown together, and I don't know who's making the layout for the NBA tournament, but it's definitely not the fans.
Well, Franco, I'm gonna do you one better real quick. I missed the OG skills competition when it was like legend, current player, WNBA player. Do you guys remember that back when it was like you would see like, oh, that was the best, like Team
What year
Dominique.
would it be?
I don't know, but that was
That was the
awesome.
best too, because you had that like really like close up shot, and then if you just missed that
Yeah,
shot, you were just
into
automatically
the
like a
half.
bum
Ooh, that
player at
was
that point. You're just
right. That
getting
was
flamed.
perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, it's to me. Here we go. Here we go. Because All Star Weekend, the NBA. Who does the NBA have working for them that tells them what to do? Because All Star Weekend. Let me paint a picture of this. The ratings for the All Star Weekend are completely correlated with the ratings for the NBA schedule in general. The NBA struggles with ratings for All Star Weekend the way they struggle with ratings for the normal regular season. And the reason for that is household names who are actually in contention, it's rivalries, it's dynasties. Those are really the three main reasons for the NBA and their ratings being down at this moment in time. It's the lack of household star names, it is the rivalries, it's the teams, it's the dynasties. Right now, the NBA is at a lack of those particular things and items within the league. And for the All Star game, well, that correlates over to the All Star game because if you have all this going on in the regular season, people want to see the household names, they want to see the rivalries, they want to see, oh, this team with all their dynasty players in the All Star game. And the NBA thinks, oh, well, there's no competition in the All Star game. Therefore, we need to switch up all the formats and do something different with it. we've already talked on the skills challenge. The skills challenge, I don't know what's been going on the last couple of years. The team Cavs, the team Spurs, the team Warriors, the team rookies. I
What
mean,
team Wizards, Christ's sake?
you look at those three teams, it's like they're giving those three teams a pass because of what happened last decade, going, oh, well, these three teams were in contention and they were the dynasties last decade. So therefore, Moses Moody and Draymond Green,
Yes,
truly
that's what
skillful
people are paying
players,
for.
need to be in the skills competition. And I really thought the skills contest was better 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, the
Any
way
year ago.
I mean, really, right now, the shooting through the windmill stuff and the really slow pace of it as well just makes no sense to me whatsoever. And it's not a traditional thing. They change it up all the time. I want to put a point of emphasis on that, but it's not a traditional thing. You have to really get something in order in terms of we're going to do it this way, and then just follow that order year after year. The NBA changes it up way too much and takes all the tradition out of it. Nobody knows what's happening with the skills challenge every year. 3-point contest is fine. I think that's actually the most interesting contest
Yeah.
that
Right.
people are looking at right now. If you even look at the names, we'll look at them in a little bit here, who are in the 3-point contest. It's some of the bigger names. We'll notice some all-star level players. The dunk contest, it's completely fallen off. I feel like we have a
Not
great
close,
dunk
though.
contest every 15 years. Right now, it's like we have to roll out Mac McClung from the G League to actually make it a good dunk contest every single year. But then outside of that, we'll see the participants. First of all, there's 4 of them. There used to be like 6. It might even be more players than that in the past. Now it's only 4. And those 4 players, it's a G Leaguer. It's a rookie in
Andre
Stephon
Jack-
Castle. It's Andre Jackson Jr., a role player, a low-level role player on the Bucks. And then the 4th guy this year also, which I'm blanking on the 4th guy. I just had all 4
Matas.
guys.
That-
Yeah,
Matas
Buzelis,
Buzele,
exactly.
yeah.
Buzelis, another rookie out
Yes,
there.
there's
And
0
I'm not saying
points.
these guys are bad dunkers, but they're not really household names who people know whatsoever. They're low-level role players or they're rookies. They haven't made a name for themselves yet. And then the All-Star game, I mean, really the rising stars in the All-Star game. This is what gets me. The NBA, they're losing the casual fan. They're completely losing the casual fan. That's really the the issue with the ratings is they're losing the casual fan. If diehards don't even know what's happening with the All-Star game, of the Rising Stars game, if they don't understand the target score, if they don't understand the tournament, how the teams are picked, how the teams are arranged, why are the casual fans going to know anything about that? And it's ultimately about grabbing the casual fans. And what we're seeing right now is the NBA is arranging the All-Star weekend in a way that turns casuals off. It just does, because if casual fans have to go in and do the research about what's happening with All-Star weekend, and it's not just East West playing 12-minute quarters to a specific score, if it's not Rising Stars, 2 random teams playing to a specific score, they're going to be turned off. It's like the NBA Cup. We talked about this a while ago, where the NBA Cup, yes, it's a great idea. It's a great idea for All-Stars, or sorry, not All-Stars, for diehards, rather. It's the same ordeal for the All-Star weekend, is that if you have to do research to figure out like how to follow the competition, it's going to turn off casual fans. Casual fans don't understand the target score. Casual fans don't understand the team arrangements. Casual fans don't understand that this is a tournament or what's happening or why the Rising Stars are playing on Sunday with the All-Stars. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. It's not going to fix the ratings whatsoever for All-Star weekend. And I would say diehards, I mean, for me, I'm more of a traditionalist in the sense of I just give me the East and the West. Give me
Yeah.
the same format every single season. It's one game. It's on a Sunday. It's before President's Day. Just do the game the same every single time. The NBA tries to implement all these different, like, honestly, it's they try to implement things that come off of street ball or pickup ball, where a couple of years ago it was team LeBron, team Giannis, team Curry, team LeBron, and they're picking all-star teams, and then they go out there and play each other, and then now they're playing to a target score, like we're playing to 21 or something. And that's ultimately not going to fix any problems, because people see that stuff and go, especially the casual fans, they go, what's going on here? I can't follow this. I'm turning off my TV right now because I don't know what's going on. Diehards don't know what's going on. It's different every year all of a sudden. And what the NBA just needs to get back to is the traditional format of All-Star weekend. Keep the same items every single year. and
Right.
really just put in players who ultimately people want to see. That's really the bottom line here. The players, the rivalries, players from, of course, the household name teams, the dynasties, which we don't have right now. Put those players in the All Star game, get that situated in the regular season. You'll see the All Star game ratings go up the way it will across the board for the regular season. 2016 was fantastic. 2015 was fantastic in terms of the All Star weekend and the regular season at that. And really, the NBA has been trying to get to that point ever since, but it's not really something the NBA can culminate. It's a story that plays out in front of them. And I think we're only going to see those type of all-star weekends and seasons about every 15 years or so, or every there's once every
Right.
decade that happens. And we're just kind of in a dead period of that in terms of the regular season. But the all-star weekend, just the NBA. I don't know who they have working for them, but please, NBA, just do it traditionally. There's no reason to go about this in a way where no one knows what's going on. The Rising Stars are playing on Sunday. We're doing a mini tournament. There's a target score. We have teams that make no sense whatsoever, and it's subjective arrangement. There's no reason for this, and I think you guys can understand my tone on this not being the most positive. I love All Star Weekend. Don't get me wrong, but the way it's being just arranged and thrown around is just miss me with it. NBA, miss me with it. This is not the way to go. This is not the way to go.
Can I chime in real quick? I am actually looking at the NBA.com app trying to find out more information. You know it's bad when the NBA has a FAQ, guide and things to know, on their front page for All-Star Weekend.
It's bad, man. It's bad. I mean, like my thing, I think the whole problem, I guess, with the All-Star game in particular is no one tries hard. The last time they tried hard was 2020 after Kobe Bryant passed away. And that All-Star game was amazing. Oh my God, it was amazing to watch. It was super, super fun. So that's really like the goal, right? The goal is, okay, how in the All-Star game, how do we get these players to try hard? The answer to that isn't to split them up into 3 groups with the Rising Stars group and assume, oh yeah, now that they're on different teams and there's a tournament, they're going to try hard. No, that's probably not going to happen. I think the best way to do it, East-West, first of all, classic, traditional, in the East-West All-Star jerseys, right? Boom. Fans care about that. They want to root for their players in their conference, right? When I'm watching Jason Tatum rooting for the East, right? That is what I want to do. And Jaylen Brown. And then I think they're missing the whole point. You want to make it competitive? Okay. Winning conference of the All-Star game, you guys get home court in the NBA Finals. Now you're going to have the best players on the best team that year, right? You're going to see guys like Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Karl Anthony Towns. On the flip side, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nicole. They're going to be like, oh, okay, if we are in finals contention, we need this, right? And another thing, to the NBA players, right? To the ones who aren't trying hard. You are scared of injury, this and that. You play pickup all summer. You know how to play basketball without putting your body at risk of getting injured at a high level. You can compete, right? And still try on defense and still try on offense without putting your body in a position to get injured. So I think that's a load of BS from an NBA standpoint on the All-Star game. You guys are doing everything wrong. Adam Silver, I'm sorry. You're handling this terribly. You're not going about this on a how to make a competition to rise the competition level. So, and then in terms of the All-Star weekend, again, keep it classic. The dunk contest, Jaylen Brown tried to bring it back. His performance was so bad and he got clowned online so bad that other stars are going to look at that and get pushed away from it. So from a fan standpoint, you guys kind of ruined that. Brown tried his best and he showed exactly why stars don't want to do it, because if they fail, they're going to get clowned.
Let me add on to this too about the competition in the All-Star game specifically. I really, first of all, the home court advantage thing, me and Franco actually talked about this.
Should have been rolling it.
We were kind of talking about how it's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, oh, say 2 teams make the NBA finals, like you have a 49 win team versus a 67 win team, and they get home court advantage because their conference randomly won the All-Star game, in which half the team is really paying attention to, half the team isn't. And then some of the lineups, like some of the lineups in the All-Star game, they're not thrown out there strategically. They're just thrown out there to get guys some minutes out there. it would be an interesting concept that could get guys to try, but I'm honestly always against doing the home court advantage on the All-Star game. I know that's a legitimate way to get guys to try, but I see it as just way flawed if there's like two teams in the finals that are like 20 wins apart, and then it's like what they played the whole season as this unit just for the All-Stars to take over. But
Right.
in terms of the competition too, Franco and I discussed that the money wouldn't really do anything either. We talked about the money, like could the money
Yeah.
do something? But
No.
to all these guys making just bango bucks on their contracts, especially the all stars who are making almost all near super maxes or a
50
max at
million.
that, the little sniff of money. I mean, they would probably donate that right to charity right away as they got it. Maybe that could bring some motivation, but I don't
Ooh,
think so. But the
charity.
competition level, really, my main point is there were all-star games in the past that were seen as classic. There were all-star games in the past in which were viewed at a higher level than the all-star games now. And those all-star games, it's not as if, oh, the competition level was so, the competition level, it was just so high that everybody needed to tune in. Was no, like the competition level has always been the same in the all-star game. It's been guys going out there dunking a lot, taking just ridiculous three pointers from half court, from 30 plus feet out, that not really playing any defense whatsoever. It's been the same, non team basketball, just, oh, I'm going to throw an alley oop pass from half court. It's a lot of the same ordeal, whatever year you're looking at, whether it's in the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, even into the 2020s now. All of these decades, the competition level has been pretty much the same. And that 2020 All-Star game really does stick out in terms of guys competing. And that could be, it was the Kobe Bryant the tribute game.
Yeah.
But even there are players within the league that I think just have to be there in order to get guys up to play. I think LeBron is one of those players. In the past, Kobe Bryant was certainly one of those players who really got players up to play. And once you saw him exit the All-Star game, it was really up to LeBron to go and get players to play on his team. He was, of course, won a ton of All-Star games in a row when they were picking teams back and forth, and he was always the team captain because he was the fan leader in votes, or the leader in fan votes, of course. But the All-Star game, the competition level has generally been the same. Yeah, we've had different viewer counts from year after year, which suggests the competition level, that's one of their main flaws in terms of the NBA trying to fix All-Star weekend in their ratings. They're looking at the wrong thing. It's not really, oh, well, the competition level, oh, it was better in 2000 than it was in 2025. I mean, that's not really what's going on. It's been the same every single year. And it's just about the players and the stories involved
Right.
in the All-Star game. And it really links itself to the rest of the regular season. I mean, those two things are correlated and linked. If you're not getting ratings in the regular season, you're not going to get ratings in the All-Star game. Versus if you are getting ratings in the regular season, I think you're going to see an uptick in all-star ratings. So the competition, that's just one of the main flaws in terms of the NBA fixing the all-star weekend, is they're looking at the wrong thing. It's not really competition. It's been the same the whole time. It's about
Right.
everything else. And there's not much, in my opinion, there's really not much they can do in terms of the individual all-star game or the individual all-star weekend to make the ratings go up and down for the weekend. It has everything to do with the rest of the regular season. And that's why them just toying with everything, messing with everything, the league front office just messing with the format. I mean, it really just actually does them harm, more harm than good, because I mean, even the traditionalists of the game, the casuals are completely turned off by having to go to the frequently asked questions page. But even the traditionalists, the diehards, are completely turned off by it because we go and look at it and go, what are we? This is not anything we know to ourselves. We
Right.
like to see East West. We like to see, honestly, the picking of the teams became kind of a traditional thing over time, and ultimately that could have been something that persisted. That really had nothing. I had no problems with that. Honestly, it was off tradition, but it started to become a tradition after a while, which is how traditions are built. But the NBA just toying with the entire format. It's really, really not good for themselves
Right.
whatsoever for both the casual and the diehard fan. And that's a huge issue, I think. It's like they try to fix it, but they're really doing something detrimental to their own game, which is unfortunate.
And
Right.
I think you're seeing it in almost every sport right now because we're I know we're all basketball over here, but you look at like the NFL turning into flag football, it become a lot less watchable. You look at the NHL. I think they have 4 nations going on instead of having the East and West conference. And I think MLB has been the only one that has still stuck to the roots of everything.
And that's the best
But
one. The home run
yeah,
derby is like that's classic, man. That's classic.
tune me in.
And big names do that. You see Vladdy, you see Aaron, like you see these big names do that.
Yeah, like MLB is probably the one that has been doing it right, just because of the fact of they have held it to the same tradition as it's been for the past 20, 50 years. And I think when you're starting to see like them start to toy around, because I think the 3 or 4 teams as all-star teams really makes things a lot weirder. Sure, you're giving these players a little bit more playing time during these games, diluting the rosters down from
dumb.
12 to 8 or 9 players, but it just doesn't make any much of a difference, because now, and if during the Rising Star Challenge, I wish that we had a pointer, because I'm about to pull up the first graphic we made. There was a chance that J.D. Davison could be matched up against LeBron James in the All-Star tournament on Sunday.
You're right.
So it once we get our merch going, it's going to be the first shirt on our website. It's going to be our mind-boggling T-shirt, and that's exactly what the All-Star game is.
Mind-boggling CTW logo right underneath.
I also think there, just before we hop into the Rising Stars, I just want to say this. You make a good point with the home run derby in the MLB. Like, players want to get up and win that trophy, right? There's kind of like an aura to winning the home run derby. You get the trophy, you're viewed as the big, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see guys like Pete Alonso, Julio Rodriguez, Vladimir Guerrero. These are guys that step up to the plate, big name stars, young stars who want to be the home run derby champion. They're like, yeah, I want that. It gets competitive. You see guys take it serious. Yes, they're having fun, but again, at the end of the day, they want to win. There used to be that in the NBA with especially the slam dunk contest. Like, you get up, you saw guys back in the 80s, you saw Dominique, you see Dr. J, you see Michael, right? They're doing it. In the 90s, you saw the emergence of Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady, and they kind of elevated it. You saw Jason Richardson, they're doing it. And then you got guys in the 2000s that were like, like you got Dwight and Nate, and these guys were big names, and they're Blake Griffin and right, Aaron Gordon. And these are guys that were like, they're dunked,
Zach
right?
Levine.
Zach, I mean, they showed up for it, right? They showed up, and I don't know if you can pinpoint it to LeBron never doing it and the idea that stars don't do it. Personally, I think I don't know. But like, again, I think the whole point is if you're in the NBA, you gotta go back to your roots. Enough with this. It's stupid and it's dumb. It's just like the play-in tournament in the in-season tournament. It's just kind of stupid and dumb. And it looks like you're just throwing it, right? You're sitting at a office table and you're throwing ideas out, and someone is eventually like, okay, we should try that. So I think, again, what the fans want to see are classic stars competing for something, and that's just not what they have.